Confused breakfast listeners, this quick message is just for you. I'm literally seconds away from pushing the button to start the intro music, but I want to remind you about our favorite whiskey in the entire world, Cedar Ridge.
Yeah.
They've been a sponsor of this podcast for a long time now, so you already know everything there is to know about this amazing company. I don't need to tell you that they were named Distillery of the Year in 2017.
No.
Don't even have to mention it.
Nope.
I don't even have to tell you that their delicious products include the flagship bourbon, the quintessential American Singer malt.
Yep.
It's called a single malt. I'm an idiot. And their amazing collaboration with Slipknot, which is what we are drinking right now. I don't need to tell you that you can likely grab a bottle at your local stores around the Midwest. And if you can't find it, you can directly order it online at cedarridgewhiskey.com. I don't have to tell you any of these things because you already know it. It's been like 7 years of us going, Cedar Ridge, Cedar Ridge. You should have Cedar Ridge.
Don't tell us this.
Yeah, I don't have to tell you that because you already know it.
Yeah.
So as I cheers my two friends, as someone hopefully pours me a little bit, who's got the... Just point. Don't do it over the computer. Jeez. So as I watch this on YouTube if you want to see some weird stuff. God.
You get some schmutz on you?
I did.
That wasn't my fault.
We're fine. So as I cheers my two friends and we consume some incredible Cedar Ridge whiskey, please consider buying a bottle. You won't be disappointed and you will make us so happy. Father's Day is this Sunday. Buy your dad a bottle. You only have a couple days left. Heck, I may even be a dad by the time you hear this.
Oh,
you should buy me a bottle or just buy a bottle for yourself and make me happy. Drink responsibly. Start the show.
Off, man. Just do it.
Sean's trying to get kicked off the podcast.
Is your computer okay?
We're fine.
Okay.
Hello there, everyone. Thank you for joining us on another new episode of the Confused Breakfast Podcast. On this podcast, we review the classic movies that define the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s for us as kids. But with all the movies that were made in those decades, even the most seasoned movie buffs like us have inevitably missed a few popular movies. Sean and AJ Top Gun. In talking about what movies to review next, we started noticing that there are a few instances where one of the hosts felt passionate about a particular movie from childhood, and the other two hosts had never seen it. So we came up with a new idea for an episode. We will be reviewing a classic movie from two different perspectives. First, from the perspective of someone who has seen the movie countless times, and secondly, from the perspective of two people that have just watched the movie for the first and only time. I'm your super cool host, Mike Schulte, and joining me are my super smart and sci-fi obsessed friends, AJ Venz and Sean Pryor. How the heck are ya?
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go to space, baby.
Yeah, I'm ready to build a
I'm ready to explore.
Thunder Road. Get it up. Ready to get it up.
Get it up.
You're ready to get it up.
Get it up.
Okay, boys, so like we said in the intro today, one of us has seen the movie Explorer countless times, and the other two have never seen it. Time to reveal who is who. AJ is a fan of Explorers, and Sean and Mike have never seen it. What the heck, Sean? Why have you never seen this movie?
I don't know. I'm a fan of Joe Dante, and this is a movie that my brother and I should have watched back in the day while watching movies, and it just never got to us, I guess. Maybe it got to him, and he just didn't show me it. Maybe it's his fault. It's somebody's fault. It's not mine, though.
Dude, I had a visceral moment of pulling up the cover of this movie, and immediately I was like, oh, that movie. I can smell Blockbuster.
The movie,
I can just smell what it smells like in Blockbuster, seeing that movie cover and going, oh, that looks awesome. But I never rented it.
Yeah.
Like, I do remember saying I should get that.
Yep.
But then it just never happened. I was too busy getting, like, all the other movies that we continuously just rented over and over and over. So I don't know why. I've never seen this, man.
Yeah.
What do I mean? Like, you love this movie? What's your experience on it? Your nostalgic ratings?
I really thought it was such an interesting movie, even though parts of it actually really creeped me out. We'll get there, but I saw this for the first time. I believe it was on Disney Channel, and they kept saying The Explorers, and so I was like, well, what is it? For some reason, I couldn't turn this movie off. I don't know if that makes it like I felt like I could walk away from the movie at any time, but I chose not to, and I feel like that says something about the movie. I just had to keep seeing what was going on.
Yeah.
I think this movie does a really good job of building itself, as you're watching it. But yeah, I thought it was fascinating. And when I was a kid, I didn't even realize that it was River Phoenix. I didn't realize it was Ethan Hawke.
Well,
both
of their first roles, right?
Yeah.
Or at least River Phoenix is, I think.
River Phoenix and I think Ethan Hawke. I
Wow.
think both of them. It was
Yeah.
like their debut, essentially. So,
What was your nostalgic rating, man?
nostalgic rating, I would say that this was like a 7.7.
Nice.
So.
Well, we do
Wow.
have an executive producer, Josh Miller. He's got a nostalgic review for us as well. He said, Explorers will be one of the first of any movies that you have reviewed that I haven't seen in many, many years. There's one or two I've never seen, one being Three Ninjas.
Oh.
If I were to guess when the last time I saw this movie, it was the very early 90s, if not the 80s, and it could have been a one and only time viewing. I'm almost certain I didn't see this in theaters. I likely watched it at my neighbor's house. They had that huge C-band satellite dish. Oh, yeah, those giant ones in
The
your backyard.
big things?
Yeah, with the super descrambler that got all the channels, even the naughty ones.
Hell yeah.
You know, illegal cable is a felony, and in this state, if convicted, you could be fined up to $5,000 and spend up to 6 months in a correctional facility.
That's solid.
Jesus.
Back to it. I only have small, incomplete memories of this movie. I know it's about three kids that gathered a bunch of junk to build a spaceship out of a tilt-a-whirl car. That's it. Nothing else. There could be aliens. They could have got shot down by the Air Force. Okay, that's unlikely. I would certainly remember that. If one of the Coreys in this, did you get my Cable Guy reference in there? I did get it. That's why I read it that way. I have seen it. I'm confident I enjoyed it. Being of all of 8 years old when it came out, I was probably 9 or so when I saw it. So my nostalgic score sits at a 6. My middle of the road movie. Movies get a 6 to start and can go up or down for there.
I like that. I like that.
So that means nostalgic rating between AJ and executive producer Josh Miller is a 6.85, which, that's like, it's decent on our list of movies. That is right above The Karate Kid, right below Ghostbusters.
Oh,
Okay.
Nostalgic rating not being as important, but it is nice to just kind of reference that
it's
a little
good
bit.
to understand. Yeah.
Yeah. So what we're going to do here is AJ's going to dive us into the pertinent details of this movie. What'd you find out, ma'am?
All right, so movie was released on July 12th, 1985. The movie had a budget of somewhere between $20 to $25 million and ended up grossing worldwide $9.9 million. A little bit of a sting there.
Oh.
That hurts a little bit.
Directed by Joe Dante, who we've had on the podcast before.
We sure do.
Sean, do we have any...
The Burbs.
Burbs.
Burbs is a good one to go to.
Yeah.
He's there's Looney Tunes, the ones that came out in like the 2000s.
Mhm.
The Howling. Check out the fucking Howling.
All
man.
right.
Howling's
There we
a great
go.
movie.
Joe Dante.
Joe Dante, written by Eric Luke and starring Ethan Hawke, River Phoenix, and Jason Presson as the three main
All
characters.
right.
Well, did you do some critical ratings, tomato meters, all that stuff for us?
I did. The tomato meter is actually sitting at a 72% on this.
Wow.
Wait, really?
72%.
Damn.
That is that's about middle of the road for everything we do. That is an exact critical tie with Batman, OG Batman.
Okay.
Their critics think that this movie is the same as Batman.
It's
Wow.
the same as Batman.
Yeah.
Wow. Audience's score was a little bit lower, also according to the grossed worldwide, but 66%. And IMDb gave it a 6.4.
Interestingly enough, that is still bottom 10. That is the exact same IMDb rating as our last Weekend at Bernie's.
Wow.
Whoa.
Exact same audience rating.
Dang. Okay.
Dang.
Dang.
Damn dang it.
Damn dang it. All right. I got a couple of critical reviews. Damn it, Mike, what are you doing to this podcast?
Got some crickets. Yeah.
Got some crickets. 30 out of 100, the Washington Post. They said, the kids are uniformly god-awful.
What? Yeah, fuck those kids.
Starting on a good note here, guys.
Wow.
Particularly the lamentably named Phoenix.
What?
Their
What?
wooden line readings play in long, flat scenes that look like some 12-year-old school project. And talking about the movie's sense of pace is like talking about Pikes Peak's sense of pace.
Okay.
Explorers is a veritable jungle of thematic and story threads that are never picked up. Harsh.
Some things I agree with.
Well, there might be a few
We'll
things
get
to
into it.
You know, well,
He seems like a nice guy.
he seems like a nice guy. Time Out says 3 kids are inspired by strange nightmares and a stroke of scientific luck to build their own spaceship, but suddenly find themselves out of control, yanked towards an encounter with some extremely oddball aliens. What really lifts this into the stratosphere of heady entertainment is its dizzy wit and intelligence. The dialogue is deliriously deadpan, the story surreal but surprisingly convincing, and the wealth of references to the movie and TV classics hilarious rather than mere smartass posing. Dante's wacky comedy thriller never degenerates into Spielbergian sentimentality.
Degenerates. Wow.
Degenerates.
Not a
yeah.
fan of that, I guess.
Never degenerates into Spielbergian sentimentality, but mixes its inventive originality with a winning, self-deprecating irony. It looks terrific, moves along at a gallop, and is marvelously good-natured.
Okay.
Do you guys want happy or sad? Happy or sad first?
Sad.
Yeah, do sad.
Do sad first. Okay.
I said that very happily.
Yeah, you did.
Sad. I'm happy.
All right. How about a 2 out of 10? You will feel like the guy who gets his eyes taped open in Clockwork Orange.
Nice.
Oh my God.
Said Luke D. Simpson. Warning, spoiler!
Oh, no.
If you
Listen here, if you want to watch... It's really pretty fun at first, chugging along with 80s charm, and then Bizarro World. What the heck?
pretty true.
The last half hour goes completely off the rails. I guess there was studio trouble, but they still designed what they designed at the end there. It hurt to watch. It especially hurts to listen to it. It was like they told Robin Williams' not as funny cousin to just yell things for 20 minutes. Then didn't edit any of it out. Then added a bunch of TV screens flashing static and super saturated, washed out clips of explosions or people yelling at other chaotic things. I kept going and finished it just to be able to say I did, but it actually made my stomach hurt. It was harder. It was harder to watch than a lot of horror movies I've seen. It was like watching Transformers, except the nasty puppets instead of at least it looked sort of cool CGI. It was a little difficult to think a clear thought afterward. I felt like I was going insane.
Fucking liar. My
And
stomach,
so- and
my
so-
stomach hurt after I watched this.
I have a tummy ache.
Is it sad because he's no longer with us, or
2015, Luke D. Simpson.
okay?
Yeah.
Reach out, man. Hope you're doing
Let
better.
us know if you're okay.
Yeah. This is a wellness check. Okay, we'll go happy for this last one, guys. This is a 10 out of 10
Wow.
piece of my childhood. This was in
This is a
2010.
nostalgic rating.
This is a
Yep.
nostalgic
You're
rating,
right,
yes.
You're right.
Warning, spoilers.
Spoiler.
Oh no.
When I first watched this movie, me, a cousin, and an uncle who was our age were a sort of trio.
It's like he's even questioning it.
Yeah.
Uncle, who was our age.
Who was our age?
I have an uncle who's younger than me. Weird.
I don't know.
We're sort of a trio. That alone would be special, but besides that, me and my cousin used to share our dreams and try to interpret them and believed we could learn things through our dreams.
Hey, all right.
This movie is magical for me because it reminds me of a time in my life when I used to believe in dreams, imagination, and friendship.
Come on.
This is sad.
I was
This
more
is a sad one.
I was more like Ethan's character, and my cousin was Phoenix's. And my uncle was just like the other little boy.
No one even knows his
You don't know
name.
his name.
No one knows his name. Oh, that other guy. They needed a third kid.
Yeah, it was, and he was writing this on IMDb and chose not to look it up.
What was the name of our uncle?
It's
The
not
part of our
important.
family?
Yeah, our uncle. He was who in this? Oh, never mind. It's not important. The other kid. Coincidences. Anyways, it is in my heart. Even if I grow up and lose part of the capacity to fly, strongly advise you see it.
This person's a magical human being.
He didn't want to take the time to look up Jason Preston's name.
Nope.
Fair enough. All right.
Doesn't matter.
Well, that's it, man.
Should I talk? Should I say something?
What, do you want to say something?
Did you want to?
Well, do you have anything else to say about
No.
Okay,
That was it for that right now.
Well, before we dive into our full-blown review of Explorers, we have to first give a shout-out to our amazing sponsor, Felix Greya. This company, we've been talking about them for a while. They make affordable, incredibly stylish glasses that filter out the harmful blue light that is all around us in the entire world, from computers, phones, TVs. I have been noticing that I'm staring at my phone. My screen time is up so much lately. It's sad, but if you think about your screen time, and let's just say you got crazy numbers and it's like 12 hours a day. Let's just say that you had that. That's 12 hours of like a phone less than a foot away from your face, just spitting out blue light, which they are learning so much about how harmful that is. These Felix Gray glasses are 15 times more effective than any other blue light glasses out there at filtering this blue light. You can buy like a $5 pair at Walgreens. You're going to be able to peel the film off. They're going to look dumb. Like you got to get Felix Gray, because not only do they protect better than anything else does, but they look awesome. The glasses look like normal glasses. You cannot tell that there is like any filtering going on. There's no like shading of the lenses. Sean's wearing a pair right now. How you been liking yours, man?
You look beautiful.
I look beautiful.
Glasses on. Yeah, AJ looks great as well. Jeremy, yeah. No, they like I think I said before that they're like very tough too. Like I have to wear them while driving for my work that I do, and I dropped them from my cab on down to the ground as I was trying to fill up for gas.
You went,
yeah, like, oh god! And I picked them up. I'm like, there's definitely a crack. There's some scratches, there's some scuffs, and nothing.
Yeah.
And I could drive peacefully and wear my glasses and see the future. Really.
Wow.
See the future, really.
See the future out in front of you on that road.
Thank you.
We hope that you realize by now that we're not just cash grabbing sponsors. Like when we have a sponsor on the show, we legitimately do like their products. That's why, like 9 times out of 10, at least 2 of us at this table are wearing a pair. I'm a nighttime guy. I wear contacts during the day, but I wear my Felix Grays at night. So quality's unbelievable. You will love the options for styles, colors. You can decide between prescription, non-prescription readers. Our exposure to blue light is never going away. I mean, never. Not a chance. So do yourself a favor. Grab a pair of these glasses. We all have them. We love them. We know you will too. Check them out at felixgrayglasses.com/confused. That's how you know that we sent you. FELIXGRAY glasses.com/confused. Free shipping, free returns, free exchanges. Go do it.
That's a great deal.
Make sure you see the future.
See what's in front of you better than you could before.
Don't see blue.
Perfect. I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah.
No. All right, boys. So let's dive into our analysis of the I've Never Seen collection, Explorers. AJ, I'm handing the reins over. Take it over from here, man.
Bring it on over, baby.
Bring
We're
it
diving
on.
right in. All right. Ben Crandall is a young teenage boy who experiences vivid dreams, usually after falling asleep watching 1950s sci-fi movies. When he wakes up, he tells his friend, child prodigy Wolfgang Muller, at school, Ben develops a crush on Laurie Swinson. Darren Woods saves Ben from bullies, and Ben follows him home.
This is not exactly how I fell asleep when I was his age, but it's how I fall asleep now.
Now,
A lot.
It's just put in horror movies,
1950s
sci-fi
horror movies.
It's just like music to my ears. It's like ASMR for me.
Anyone else would walk in and be like, Jesus, how are you sleeping right now? Like basically what his mom does. His mom's like, how are you sleeping?
Yeah.
What the hell is going on?
Sean's just peacefully going,
Yeah.
sleep in heavenly peace.
And then it turns off, and it's like, what silence? This is obnoxious.
I can't have this.
No. All right. Well, what do you guys think about this introductory scene, like the sequences that are happening? What are your
Pretty
thoughts?
dope. Like, actually, you're thinking like, when I was watching this movie, I'm trying to put myself when I should have walked away with that copy. You know, like I
Okay, yeah.
should have rented Explorers.
Yeah.
and I never did. But I should have walked away. So that's how I was trying to view this movie.
Yeah.
I would have been blown away
Really?
by some of these graphics back then. I really would have.
Yeah, you think about like the time, right?
This is
you have to think.
1985.
Yeah, you got to think about that, and so that's the biggest thing. I thought it was really cool. Like as I was rewatching this again, I did kind of see like, oh, there's some resemblance to like. Maybe you pick up on it later more, but to a town or like the way a city is laid out, or whatever. But what about you, Sean?
The effects were by Industrial Light and Magic, the Star Wars guys.
Yep.
It's really cool looking for the time. It's fine. Like I give it a pass. It's charming for me. I like
it's
looking.
80s.
Yeah, it's nice to look at. I just don't know like what he's taken to get to sleep or what his mom gives him to go to sleep because he's tripping fucking balls.
He's going hard.
I've never had a dream like that where I just see grids and I fly into something and I'm flying or something like that.
Tron.
I guess I've had a Tron dream. Yeah.
Maybe.
You were there?
I was.
We have the shared dream.
Yeah, dude.
Dude.
Yeah, dude.
Oh man, that sucks.
That's when we made Tron
I
together.
wasn't there. Yeah.
Sorry, bro.
Left out.
Sorry, bro. We need your house for recording.
Oh, okay.
Actually, who would be? I think this is who would be of the three kids? Who would
be
we
who?
each be?
I knew this was going
I
to come
think it's
up.
pretty easy. Sean is clearly Darren.
Darren. Yeah.
Like Sean is the tough guy that's gonna like stand up for the nerds,
Yes.
but also just like he's just kind of like, yeah, I'm Sean. What's up?
Yep.
I'm the guy who's like who gives the practical ideas.
Yes.
I'm like, hey, how about this idea? We didn't think about that. Yeah, because you're all caught up in this other bullshit that's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, and you also usually say, if they give us any trouble, we'll kick their butts.
Yeah.
I know I've heard that.
We'll just
out of
fuck
Sean's
them
mouth.
up.
Yeah.
And Sean likes to wear jean jacket type stuff. Like I think he would look good as Darren.
Listen to a Walkman. I think it's you.
I mean, I watch horror movies and sci-fi movies to go to sleep, but that's fine. That's
No big deal.
Who are
You're Wolfgang.
Yeah,
'Cause
I
look
knew
at
it.
the glasses you're wearing right now. You look like Wolfgang. You're smarter than me. you like sci-fi stuff. Like you could do some experiments. You're good with like working with your hands and doing stuff. Not me.
Okay.
I'm the forever like optimist guy.
The optimist.
I'm like, yeah, guys, it'll be cool. We'll go to space. It'll be awesome. We're
The
gonna eat
dreamer.
this food while I do it. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm the dreamer.
You're the dreamer.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Who's giving positive reinforcement until it like we are too far into the
And then
mouth of the beast.
then I fall apart.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's me.
Okay, great.
Oh yeah, that's
It's
who I
fine.
am.
Well,
I'm Ben.
I'll just hang out with the aliens. You
Yeah.
know, I'll hit on one of them too.
Checks out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ethan Hawke and River Phoenix are 15 years old at the time of this, but like
That's
it's weird
crazy,
because
dude.
they both. Ethan Hawke looks like he's 6,
Mm-hmm.
but yet he looks like he's 50. The man's face has never changed
It
in
hasn't
his
changed at
entire
all.
life.
There's certain instances where he's like turns his head. I'm like, oh Jesus.
Yeah,
Like it's like him as an adult with just like a 6-year-old body's face.
Yeah.
You know, and then like the way he talks sometimes, he's got this really like kind of distinct way of talking. He like over enunciates some sort of things.
Yeah.
And I noticed that in like him in First Reformed or something like that.
Training Day.
Or Training
Yeah.
Day.
Yeah, 100%. River Phoenix. Think about this is 1985. The other movie that we have done is Stand By Me, which was 1989, I believe.
Yep.
And so looking at him, he's obviously like the nerdy one here,
Yeah.
but then he's the tough guy there. Did you guys buy him as the nerdy guy?
I did.
Yeah,
Like, because I think River Phoenix is just an amazing actor.
I agree.
Yeah, I think he can pretty much get away with anything, really. But like to that point, if the reason you're asking that is like the fact that he actually didn't want this part,
Mhm.
I read that he didn't like want this part at all. He wanted to
He
be
wanted to
like
be a cool kid.
like Ethan Hawke's character or something like that.
Well, because he was like he was a badass kid, like
Yeah.
in person. I mean, think about his upbringing.
Mhm.
Like when you're 14, 15 years old, you don't want to portray a nerd if you're not a nerd.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, because you're still thinking about that self-consciously. Like, people are gonna see this is my first movie, and they're gonna see this, and they're gonna think I'm a nerd.
Yeah.
I get that.
It was like shocking to me hearing him say all these like technical terms and all these
Yeah.
lines and everything like that. And I'm like, it makes sense to me because you're delivering it pretty believably.
See,
so.
I think that's the thing, and that's he is sort of this almost child prodigy. He thinks the way he talks about things is very adult. The way he looks in this and the way he dresses is very adult.
Yeah.
And so even if he is 15 or I don't know how old they're supposed to be in the movie, like 13 or something like
probably
that.
a little younger.
like he comes across very well aged, and his mannerisms are like as he plays with his glasses and looks for rocks to things to check out. It's all very, very mature. And then he just gets shit on by every single person at school.
Yeah.
So this is like the opening to Monster Squad. Like,
Dude,
I'm pretty sure they took from this. Maybe this came out before Monster Squad?
When was Monster Squad?
1984.
I'll get you.
Because it's like they
I think
introduce
it's 87.
Introduce all the characters, even like
87. Yeah.
Like nice. The reference to monster movies and sci-fi movies and everything like that, and they cut right to someone getting their shit kicked out of them by a bully.
This made me want to watch Monster Squad.
Yeah.
Watching this movie.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Yeah. It falls right in line with all those kid adventure flicks. Goonies, Monster Squad. What are some other ones? I guess Stand by Me.
Yeah. Yep.
Like a lot of them that. It really does feel like a very good setup for that stuff.
It was interesting because Ethan Hawke, I didn't know much about his early career, but this was his first movie, and he didn't do anything after this for 4 more years.
Right.
Until Dead Poets Society.
Oh, wow.
Kind of interesting because, I mean, like, I guess this wasn't a huge movie, so it wasn't like he probably wasn't an in-demand actor type. It just like, whatever, he was in that movie. So,
yeah. Well,
the same with River Phoenix. I mean, like, this was his first role, and then he went on to some crazy stuff after that.
Yeah, he had a really, really big career for the time that he was around. So
it bums me out every time I see River Phoenix. We talked about this in Stand By Me. It just bums me out to think about what he could have been.
Yeah, he would have won an Oscar before
at
he
some
was
point.
Before he was 30 for sure.
He was like 2 or 3 roles away from something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because he's so talented. He's got good looks, but he's got you feel like you could be friends with him.
He's got the edge to him,
like the deep down inside despair. It always bums me out when I see him in a movie.
I agree.
Yeah.
As he's getting picked on by the bullies and whatnot, he gets that somebody runs up to him, and I remember this so vividly from watching it as a kid. Of when somebody just runs up and does the pocket rip on him. You remember that?
Yeah.
And just like I was like, God, that is such a shitty thing.
That is shitty.
And then after
I don't want to go to school.
Yeah, he's like, that's it. I'm out of here. And he's got his books. And then I'm thinking to myself, Ben, his buddy, Ethan Hawke, is like, hey, Wolfgang, I don't want these. And he gives him this stack of books back. He's like, oh, yeah, thanks. And he's like, got to shuffle home with these pants that are ripped and all these books in his hand. Like, that is like, you couldn't have walked him home or you couldn't have done something for him. I just thought that was kind of shitty. There's a part of me that, like, rewatching this that I think Ben is actually like, it's not that he's a shitty friend. It's just he's very, very selfish.
He's very self-centered. Yeah,
he's very self-centered throughout this.
It is all about
movie.
what he wants. He wants the girl. He wants the journey. He wants to see what's going on with his dreams.
Right.
Yeah, he needs to use his friends for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys? We talked about a jump cut in the last movie we did, Weekend at Bernie's. How about the jump cut in? Him talking about the bullies. He got elephantitis of the ego, and then it cuts to him just getting punched in the face. The fight. Have you guys ever been in a situation with a fight and there's a girl around and or something, and you're trying to be tough?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was doing like tricks on my bike.
Oh, sure.
And somehow, for some way, I got into this like squirrel tussy with this one dude. And I was like, okay, this is the time. Like, the girl's right over there. This is the time. And got my ass completely obliterated.
Oh.
And got up and was limping home, and the girl had already left, probably with the other dude.
Yeah.
So.
Probably with the other dude.
I do a podcast.
Clearly. I do a podcast. We're fine.
Yeah. The other thing though too, you've got I can't remember the bully's name or whatever, but his whole crew, and Darren kind of comes in and saves the day.
Yep.
But did you notice
Krug is his name.
Krug, yeah, his name's Krug. Krug's crew. Did you recognize one of the bullies in his crew? It's Eyeball from Stand By Me.
No shit.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
One of those guys is Eyeball.
He's
Really?
very
Yeah.
typecast.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's just the bully guy in all the 80s movies.
He's just a crony, man. Yeah, he has like one line when they first kind of go after and knock all Wolfgang's stuff down. And then he's got to, I think he's got to get him line.
Yeah.
Get him.
Oh yeah, you're the get him guy.
Oh yeah, get him. We'll say it, man.
Say it.
We'll say it.
I like when Darren steps in and kind of helps him out and everything like that. And then he's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And he's like, "Nah, I don't want any friends." He just kind of trudges home and stuff.
Yeah.
I like how Ben, right, Ethan Hawke's character, he runs after him. He's like, "Where are you going? We're gonna be friends now, right?"
Yeah, we're buds,
And
right?
then he keeps talking to him. The motors. He's on. The guy's. Darren's on a motorcycle, full throttle, 100 yards away, and he's like, "Hey, where are you going? Like,
Where are you
like,
going?"
He can't fucking hear you. And he essentially just chases him down, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Jesus.
To his dad's house where his dad's having one.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Well, let's go to my nerd friend Wolfgang's house instead."
Yeah. He gives us it's kind of like a toxic move. He says, "Look, we don't have to be buds. I was just trying to, do you a favor. I know I did you a favor, but, we don't have to be friends or anything." He's like, "Fine, whatever, here," and gives his Walkman back. "We don't have to be buds." And it's like, all right, Ben, a little toxic,
You're gonna
trying to get back in there,
this is me.
manipulative.
That's why I'm
Okay.
Ben. I'm very manipulative.
Making me feel bad.
Making him feel bad.
God.
All right, fine. I appreciate my Walkman back, I guess.
Guys, sorry, I'm going to be a dad. We have to do 8 podcasts in 4 days. Sorry. Oh, you don't want to be a part of this podcast? Thanks a lot, guys.
No, it's fine. I just did a favor for you, man. Like, you can let it go.
Like, it's fine.
It's fine,
I can find someone else if you don't want to do it.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't need this podcast. It's not the second thing in my life that I love most.
Darren is so non-memorable.
I know.
In this
Yeah,
movie,
it sucks. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
That's exactly where I was going, Sean. Yes.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
This
where I
is
was
just
going.
going to turn us secretly talking about each other. Like, Wolfgang
So
is such
the
a
worst-
nerd, and I can't stand that idiot.
The
worst
worst person of the trio is Darren, and because no one cares if he's there or not. People are watching this movie for the other 2
Yeah,
characters. Sean, that's not what
And you reward him. Man, fuck.
I know, I couldn't help it.
Well, we are better friends.
Yeah.
That's not what I meant. But for real, I feel bad that Darren, like he does a good job. Jason
does.
Preston does a
I
good job,
actually
but
do- I agree.
maybe it's the writing or maybe it's the direction of him.
He's
but
got
he
really
just,
nothing to
like,
do in this movie.
It just doesn't work out.
There just needed like a third one to. They just needed like a third guy to like fill it out, just to kind of be there, and offer some sort of substance here and there.
Just in case.
Mike is so manipulative. He got Sean talking bad about himself.
I didn't need him for that. I'm really good at that.
No, we're all really good at that.
Holy shit.
No, but you're right. It's one of the flaws that I noticed about this movie
You
as
start
well.
to pick up.
It's just like I don't really know why he's there.
Well, if you're going to typecast somebody or put somebody into this role as the tough guy, because that's how you're introduced to him,
Yeah.
then give him more tough guy shit to do.
Yeah.
Like let him fight back against someone at some point to protect the tilt world.
I guess he
Exactly.
takes him to the junkyard, and that's just about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they probably wouldn't have found the junkyard without Darren.
Right.
If you think about Goonies or Stand By Me or all these movies, every one of those characters serves a giant role.
Yeah.
You know their name, and you're like, yeah, that guy. But
Fat
like,
kid.
yeah, but in this one, it's like, oh, that's Darren. In fact, our reviewer, same way. He's like, oh, River Phoenix, Ethan Hawke, and the other guy.
Yeah.
And the other guy. And guy number 3.
You don't even know who he is. So that's kind of that was something I noticed right away. I was going, oh, this guy, I don't really know this guy.
Yeah.
And he didn't really. Jason
He didn't
Preston
do a lot.
I mean, he did some things, but nothing of memorable nature, really.
Yeah, so the one thing, gosh, this is real niche. He did an episode of Rugrats where he played a high school student who was like the tough guy high school student and saves Tommy Pickles from a cafeteria food fight when his mom, Dee Dee or whatever, is being a substitute teacher at the high school. I looked that up. It said his name was Rocco Ramon, and I was like, "Oh my god, I know what they're talking about."
Wow.
So yeah, I was pretty baffled by that, and that's the second most popular thing that I know him
He was
from.
a voice in Rugrats.
A single episode.
Wow.
Fantastic. Well, anyways, Ben takes Darren to meet Wolfgang, and they see his lab. Wolfgang builds an actual microchip based on Ben's drawings. The chip enables the generation of an electromagnetic bubble, and the boys discover the interesting capabilities of the bubble while creating some destruction in the basement and testing it out on a hill next to Laurie's house.
Should DHS be called not only on Darren's parents, but Wolfgang's parents as well?
Yeah.
Is this like gaslighting?
Is this like gaslighting?
I don't know.
really know what that is.
I don't know what's like, because he doesn't seem really there. I mean, they seem like kind of foreign, and maybe that's maybe I just don't understand it and I'm being ignorant. But
It feels right away. This felt like the house in Caddyshack. It felt like Danny's house. Remember?
Yeah.
Remember where they show Danny's house, and it's an Irish immigrant family,
Yeah.
and there's 10 kids in the house, and everybody's running around doing whatever they want, and the dad's like even sits at the table. He's like, "Who are you?" Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't even know one of his kids.
Yeah, exactly.
It must have been a trope or something of the era, because there's 10 kids and no one. The kids wearing the Halloween mask is pretty tight.
fuck yeah, dude.
Here's a prop. You can have it if you want.
No, I don't. I mean,
I want that kid's Halloween mask.
All right.
Yeah.
The kid that's like throwing shit all over the table.
Okay.
I want. I'm gonna do it. You did it, so I'm gonna do it. I want the Thunder Road.
You're going to take the Thunder
I'm
Road?
taking-
the whole thing.
I'm taking the entire Thunder Road.
The entirety of
Uh,
Thunder
Wouldn't that
Road?
be cool in your basement?
Literally, just
Oh.
like the hangout, like just like
It's
if you
just there.
if you have like a conversation pit, like it's all classy 70s looking,
Yeah.
and then it's just the Thunder Road right in the middle of it. That's what I'm.
Can we-
Sorry, I need it.
No, I need it too.
Respect.
I like it.
I'm going to take Darren's mini bike.
Okay.
Tight.
I'm
Nice.
taking his mini bike, dude.
Tight.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I was going to do his Walkman, but I want the mini bike. I
Yeah.
get way more out of that.
Okay.
So, yeah. Mini bike, bro.
No, you're right. I did that. That house is pure chaos.
It
and
is.
then that as I was like realizing that this is Wolfgang's house, and I'm seeing what's happening, I was in my head going, yeah. I bet his dad's gonna be this person. And
Yeah.
then sure as shit, it was. Who was the actor that played
James Cromwell.
I was going, James Cromwell should probably play his dad in this movie. And sure enough, he's like, there he is.
Yeah.
It made so much sense to me.
And then you have Dana Ivey, by the way, who is his mom. If you think of, she was in Addams Family. She was
Yeah,
Home
she's
Alone.
great.
Home Alone 2. She's one of like the orderly
she
people.
is.
Yeah,
She's
So-
great.
she's really good in this. It's a little different from her normal like intimidating presence. So
And then Ben's mom is in the I forget her name, but she's in the Big Chill. That's the
Really?
only thing I know her from. Yeah.
okay,
Okay.
I don't know that one.
It's
Actually.
yeah.
I don't know her.
It's a good
I
movie.
suppose.
It's like a you like that movie, but I do like it.
Have you guys ever had baklava?
I have. It's
Yeah,
delicious.
It is. It's just
super good.
It suffers from there's certain foods that just have bad names.
Yeah,
Like Brussels sprouts are really good.
correct.
Terrible name. So
Oh.
most people won't try.
Ew,
Brussels sprouts, baklava. Does he? Okay, so again, I only watched this once. This is the rule.
Yep.
Did he say geek pastry?
Greek.
I don't know, but he goes, it's a Greek pastry, but then did he go geek pastry?
Geek
Yeah.
pastry. I
Did-
think
did
so.
he say
yeah,
that?
yeah.
Okay, that
Darren
was
or
fun.
whatever. Yeah,
That made me laugh out loud.
yeah. Geek pastry.
Geek pastry.
Because he just only thinks one dimensionally that Wolfgang is just and his family is just geeks.
Yeah.
like
Just
that's-
total nerds. Geek pastry. I'm not eating that.
Well, it's weird because they sound German,
Yeah.
but then they're eating Greek pastry. So I'm just, what is going on?
It doesn't
here?
matter.
They're very well traveled.
80s America, it's just like you're a foreigner. Who cares?
Yeah.
It's a continental breakfast.
So it's a. The continent just happens to be Europe. Like, well,
It's fine. They're all the same.
so Wolfgang is built. He just decides. Oh yeah, I've got your schematic that you drew with crayons. That I'm gonna build a microchip.
Yeah.
So he goes down. Oh yeah, I put this together in an afternoon. I don't know. Like, What did you guys think about the lab and what he's doing down there, the computer?
I thought the whole pad was fucking dope, man. The whole basement, like once my brother left for the Marines, I got the basement to myself. It was just like horror movie posters everywhere, all my shit,
Cats.
books, no cats, fuck that. Just
No.
kidding. Had my dog Charlie, R.I.P. in peace.
Charlie.
Rip in peace.
No,
Charles.
it was like he had Ben's comic collection and everything like that,
Yeah.
like a bunch of books. I thought it was really cool, and like it's like there's it looks messy, but like with a person like that, it's in order for them.
Organized chaos.
You know? Yeah, I like that about it.
Yeah, if you moved something from where it was, even though it looks like it's a mess down there, Wolfgang would be lost.
Yeah.
He'd be like, "Where did this go?"
Yep.
You know. He has a computer down there that he like puts this all together with. Did you guys hear? So they present it like it's an Apple II or something like that.
Macintosh.
Yeah, a Macintosh. So, but the actual computer, I read this. Okay, Wolfgang's computer was not an Apple computer. It was an SGI Iris 1400 workstation that would have cost $35,000.
Jesus.
Now we have
Whoa.
we have phones for $30 a month
Yeah.
that can do
Yeah.
way more than that ever did.
Tell me you did that math.
No. In 1985, it would. So I do know that the exchange rate is probably somewhere around 2.7. So take that times almost 3. So
I will not.
over $100,000.
Okay.
It would be over
big deal.
$100,000.
No big deal.
So
So
yeah,
I have to say that if that's the thing you're talking about,
yeah.
it looks just like a Procaster
Yeah.
module thing
Yeah.
that we record this on.
Yep. It's like it's very simple, very basic looking.
Without keyboards, or without a keyboard that we
Yeah.
don't have, you know.
They said it contained a 73 megabyte hard drive.
Whoa!
1.5 megabytes of memory, and it weighed 130 pounds. It required a custom portable wooden crate to house it on set.
So definitely 11, 12-year-old could definitely carry that around.
Yeah, and so even then, the movie needed a program written in C language, so like C-DOS or whatever, you know?
No.
Okay. C language that could redraw a 3D wireframe scene in real time, a feat not possible before SGI produced the specialized hardware.
Damn.
So like all that stuff was just like at that time state of the art.
What did
Yeah.
you say the memory was?
1.5 megabytes of memory.
Okay, 1.5. So my MacBook Pro that I have right now is 11,000 times more powerful
Jesus.
for memory.
Yes.
11,000
I was gonna say, like,
times.
that
And
11,000.
this is old.
Yeah.
I have an old MacBook Pro.
That whole thing that you just described is probably like this bit of a portion in our phones.
Yeah.
Completely.
Jesus.
Smaller than that.
Yeah.
Fuck. People were so stupid in the 80s.
God, they're dumb.
Dumbasses.
It was pretty cool. It was a cool scene though, like when the bubble shows up and
Yeah.
like it moves around and stuff, and
Yeah.
like they didn't have control. I was kind of like, I don't have control over it. Like,
Yeah.
I did get a little anxious when that was moving around and they couldn't control
Is this
it.
a scene where it is like going
It's
through
like
everything?
flying it, and they didn't have control over
Yeah,
it.
he starts showing it to them, and Wolfgang has kind of figured out, like, or at one point or another, he figures out that it creates this sphere. Whatever
Yeah.
Ben dreamed up, he put into practice, and it created this sphere. And then he can colorize it, he can move it with coordinates, and
Make it bigger and smaller.
make it bigger and smaller. He said at the he's powering that computer with a 9-volt battery. So this is where like the kind of chaos begins, but it also rewatching, it's very confusing because it just starts happening.
It's just like we're doing this now.
Yep, it's like this. It created this. I think back to. It makes me think back again as we're talking about like these very simple computers and stuff. Maybe it was just they have these computers, they can just do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I mean,
'Cause no one else had one.
like
Yeah.
like I said about Wolfgang's speech and like all the bullshit that he was spewing about like the technical terms and everything like that. I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't care. I buy it.
Sure,
And
why not?
That's exactly the kind of way it is for me with this. Is like, I can believe that he can manipulate, a toaster
I believed it.
into becoming a gravity machine or something like that. I don't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah. Well, so so the bubble is essentially what powers what they create later of a spaceship, right?
Yeah.
The Thunder Road.
Right.
But then they want to go and test it, and they go and test it further on the hill.
Yeah.
Right? And so when he creates the bubble, and Ben, of course,
Whoa.
he's got to go fucking play with shit.
Let
you know,
me do it.
Well, I could do it. I dreamed it up. I'm gonna do it. Here we go. And then he puts a whole bunch of shit onto. And he gets Wolfgang into a bunch of trouble, and he starts sending him through the ground.
We should start doing an episode every week, guys.
And Darren's like, look at those idiots.
And then, Wolfgang, he just can't breathe. And this is the problem.
He's suffering and suffocated, and
But he's too nice to say no.
but he's too nice to say no. And even though he's choking, he's still smiling.
Yeah.
And so
He did that was actually kind of cool though, because they explained that like he didn't feel velocity and motion, and like that's a cool concept.
it was a cool way to explain
that-
it.
yeah.
It made total sense.
Yeah.
this is where all their science and stuff starts to like the explanation starts to take shape.
Yeah.
And kind of makes sense.
Yeah,
to
because
an audience.
they don't feel inertia inside the bubble. It seals everything else away from you, but unfortunately it also seals away air.
Yeah.
So they have to solve that, which is also interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that you don't feel running into anything, that's a very cool thing, and an object just meant for destruction.
Yeah. Well, I got to say, before this, when it's like tearing the fuck out of the room and leave it to a cat to jump on a keyboard to fuck it all up. What is it with them and keyboards?
They're from the devil. They're devil soldiers.
They
Dude.
Devil
want
soldiers.
to. They just like want to work and
Hell
help you
yeah.
out. I mean, that's fine.
I mean, whatever.
But the effects of the ball, like going through the fridge and shit like that, I was like, damn, it looks really good.
Yeah.
Or like taking out a leg on a chair.
Right.
It looks like there's squibs going on, and they just put that ILM just put the ball in afterwards. It looked really, really cool.
Yeah, I think even the kids acting around it do a good job
Definitely.
doing that.
I mean, when it goes through that fridge.
Yeah.
I think it's Ben who's right there, and the fridge like bursts open and stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
like, someone could have got hurt.
Yeah.
I think it was done really well.
Yeah.
Obviously, the one thing that I'm sure we would all do, of course, when you find out that you can basically fly anywhere, is
You become a peeping Tom.
That was my idea. Sorry, guys.
Damn it, Mike.
I'm in
Ben.
love.
I'm in love.
Hey, AJ, did he say at one point, did Wolfgang say at one point, do you know what this means in the basement? Did he say that? Is that a quote from this movie?
That sounds right.
Like, I feel like when they realized what it was doing, he's like, do you know what this means? Maybe I'm wrong because I only watched it once, but that is a quote from Back to the Future. And so I was thinking, I'm like, oh, maybe this is because there's a lot of Easter eggs in this movie that we can talk about later.
Yeah.
But I thought, oh, maybe this is like an Easter egg to Back to the Future. But they both came out in July of '85.
Oh, wow.
That's
so
right.
like, if that is indeed, if I'm not crazy, they both had that sort of line from a scientist in their movie that neither of them would have known about.
It's like it's like, do you realize what this
Do
means?
you
Something
realize
like that.
what this means?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
It means that this damn thing doesn't work at all.
I do like before they are peeping Toms. I think Darren's like, who's Lori?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, she's a gorgeous blonde. Don't worry about her. That's my Kool-Aid.
That's mine.
You fucking stay away.
You know what? You don't worry about it, okay? Or I'll kill you.
Dibs.
Dibs, okay? I called dibs.
The holy term for it is dibs, and you cannot
dibs.
touch.
I'm so sorry.
You called dibs. I'm not a monster.
That's right.
Okay? I'm not an animal. I respect that. All right. They construct a rudimentary spacecraft out of an abandoned tilt-a-whirl car that they christen with the name Thunder Road. It works, but there were issues with the experiment, including an unknown force controlling the ship. Their experiments with the Thunder Road draw attention from the United States government, which sends agents to scout the area for UFOs.
like in the earlier scene when they're all being Peeping Thomases, one of them says she wouldn't be undressing this early. It's like, how do you know that?
Wait, how are you so aware of this?
Anyway, sorry.
Well, no, I was gonna say I like movies. I like movies
So
with
do I.
kids. Let me finish my thought, Darren. I like movies where kids they do act like adults, but they're swearing like their parents aren't around.
Definitely.
I love that aspect of this, and this even takes it a little bit further as they find the tilt-a-whirl car, which I think is brilliant.
Oh, it's so cool. That spaceship, even if you haven't seen this movie, that spaceship is iconic.
I think so.
The look of it, it gives me a weird feeling just looking at that ship. I don't know why.
Have you guys ever been in a tilt-a-whirl?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And
Puked in a few of them.
there you go.
Oh,
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Dude.
Cha, the best.
Cha.
The tilt-a-whirls, like those carts, they feel so safe in such an unsafe environment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's that big huge shell that comes over you, and you can like control the brake or something with this, but
You think you can.
you think you can.
Yeah.
False hope, you know.
False hope.
It's a red herring.
No,
But no, I love that. I think it's such a cool thing, and I feel like every kid has seen something that they want to build a rocket ship out of.
Definitely.
You know, and
Or
I
just
love
like
that they went that route.
just like a fort or something. Like I believe
yeah.
me and my friends like had an abandoned car like in the middle of the woods somewhere, and we would like go there and we bring shit to it and like start building on top of it and make it like a fort for us.
And your imagination takes over from
Yeah,
there.
and it's just like this could be anything. This could be a spaceship. This could be just
Yeah.
a new car or something like that. The Batmobile or something.
Right.
But like even going to a junkyard as a kid is just magical.
Yeah.
Like that is even still. I looked at them walking in there. I'm like, there's so much we could do.
There's
They
so
give
much.
the dog bubble gum.
Yeah.
Bozo. His dog's name is Bozo. I brought him meat and snacks and all that
Nothing
kind of
worked.
stuff. Nothing worked until I found out what he liked, and it was bubble gum, which I don't think is very healthy for a dog.
Yeah.
But whatever.
It's
like
a junkyard dog. It's not healthy anyway.
You're right. But yeah, I think it's Ben who says I could live here.
Yeah.
Walking through that place, and so they of course get a Ernest Scared Stupid montage.
If you don't have an 80s fix-it montage, what are you doing?
What are you doing with your movie? Nothing. That's the answer. And so they take this montage and they put it together within a matter of hours, I guess,
No big
because
deal.
we don't. I think they actually did some decent jump cuts of them like back in school and tired because they've been up working all night.
That's fun.
So at least they gave
That's
some
true.
context there.
That's very true. They did do that.
But I still like it, and the TV window, screen
Yeah.
window is my favorite part of
Yeah.
that
It's cool
whole
as
thing
fuck.
that they put that in there.
The trash can makes me feel the weirdest in the front. I don't
Yeah.
know why. There's
Yeah.
something weird about that trash can in the front.
I know. I wanted something else there, but I do like the street signs that are all over
That's
it.
The
pretty cool.
one way is
Yeah.
so cool.
The one way,
Yeah.
I love that one.
I got to get these kids, like they're so resourceful. They got to come over to my house and fix some shit.
Yes.
And just the montage of them like fixing a carburetor or something like that. Imagine them like at a NASA computer, like just cuts back randomly to them, like, yeah, we're fixing it, and it's like solely the guy who like flew it into the harbor, like they're guiding him, like, yes, you're doing great,
You're doing a
Good
great job.
you know?
Drilling the hole in. He's like, I'm right here. He's like drilling a hole right into his head almost.
Sean, did you? There's a couple. I had to look up. I only watched the movie once, but I had to read up some stuff. There was I didn't notice it when I watched it, but when they were in the junkyard, did you see the Rosebud sled?
Yes.
Yeah. Citizen Kane reference right there.
Yep.
Like, there's a lot of them. There's
A few things.
Yeah, we'll get to a few of them later, but that was the first one that many people have pointed out from this movie was that Rosebud sled just sitting right there.
Yeah.
Right.
It's,
Hanging out.
Joe Dante's a huge fan of just like cinema in general. Like all the 50s and sci-fi movies that he's watching, he's actually a fan of. And like even like the shape of like some of the alien beings later on we'll get to, of like a direct reference to like the movie Them, which he loves.
Amazing.
Again, do you guys like the name Thunder Road, actually?
Love it.
Do you?
I
How do you
do.
feel, Nick? How do you feel?
I'm just like, eh.
Yeah. No.
Not a Springsteen
don't really
fan?
know.
You don't like the boss?
I mean, the boss is okay.
The boss.
I don't got any issues with the boss.
I like that. Here's where I think Darren is still really important. Not only does he name it, but then he also brings beers. He swipes
That's
beers.
actually a really good call.
I think that was a really funny thing. It's
Thank
like
you.
swiped a couple of beers from his
Okay.
old man.
He is worthwhile.
Okay. He's the equivalent of a beer fridge. I got it. Okay. But no, I thought it's another one of those things of like you're a kid and you're trying to be be an adult or whatever, but so you grab a couple of beers and then they try to christen the ship that way.
Pretty awesome.
I love that about it.
Molly walked in. My wife is a nurse, and she walked in right when they were putting on their nebulizer masks,
Oh yeah.
and she's like, "Those have to go over the nose and the mouth."
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I'm like, are those babies nebulizer masks?
Yeah,
or-
she's like, "No, that doesn't work that way."
The
'Cause-
impracticality just
Yeah.
immediately shuts down.
And then it actually made me think. I don't like. They could have just completely avoided this trope.
Yeah.
Or, it's not even a trope. That's the wrong word. They could have never even talked about the air thing.
This hurdle.
Yeah, like it could
Yeah.
have just been like, yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Because like as in a movie, you don't want to put things over people's
Cover their
faces.
faces,
Yeah,
Right.
and so then they're like, no, but we need the air. But they could have easily just
could
done it because the second time they flew, they just had air in the cockpit.
Yeah,
right?
you just open the tank.
So they could have either just gone for that right away, or they could have just avoided it forever.
Right.
I didn't like that. Just it was kind of like I don't like how it fits on their faces. And
So, and then the only thing I think that lended to was on their they go up the first time,
Yeah.
right? And they get seen by the like sheriff's
Yep.
helicopter or government whoever.
Dick Miller,
Dick
man.
Miller.
Dick Miller, bro.
Every Joe Dante movie.
Dillard.
Bam. Since they get seen by them, you see Wolfgang with that mask over,
Yeah.
and it freaks him out. Like, what the heck
Oh,
was
yeah,
that?
yeah.
So it's like one little thing, but you could have just subsided everything.
Yeah.
You could have just gone past it all. So
very true.
yeah. So the agent that we see, though, Dick Miller,
Yep.
we get a little bit of extra context from him
Mhm.
After they see the Thunder Road. Did you guys pick up on this at all?
When he's talking on the phone.
He's talking on the phone.
So
when he's talking on the phone, he's having this conversation, and he says, he's talking about how I'm having dreams about this stuff,
Oh, yeah.
and it's freaking me out. He's like,
I
and
thought
he,
that
and
was
he
going to come
says-
into play later, man.
He says, he said, I haven't had dreams like this since I was a kid.
Yeah.
And so he's had these things shot into his head before, apparently, coincidentally, just like Ben did for when he was
I
doing
wanted
it.
this so bad. I'm a first time watcher, right?
Yeah.
And I wanted this so bad to become like Interstellar and like to
Yes.
go to
That's
where
what I
like it
thought.
turns out that Dick Miller is Ben.
That's what I was thinking.
but like he never followed through with his dreams of the
Yeah.
spaceship and it's alternate reality Ben. And it's like, nope.
Nope.
But he's
nothing,
still a
literally
pilot,
nothing.
and it
it's-
doesn't go anywhere.
This is a sad part of it.
when
yeah.
Dick Miller shows up, I'm like, are we gonna get
Yeah.
really crazy deep on this? And then it never pays off.
yeah.
Yeah. The whole first trip out, like I know you need to do this and everything,
Yes.
but at the same time, a lot of the first trip out actually seems kind of pointless.
It kind of does.
They destroy.
They could have just gone.
Yeah, they destroy part of like the drive-through. I guess they get seen by the sheriff's department,
Mhm.
but it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, like none of these aspects really do, except for like that little tidbit from Dick Miller.
Yeah.
Well, here's some interesting stuff. I mean, you probably read about how basically they had like it was like a 3-hour final cut, and there was all this stuff,
Yes.
and the studio made them like they weren't even
This
going to
is-
do like the ending was not even filmed.
Right.
But so when they get to the drive-in theater, first of all, I want to see Star Killers.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I want to see that.
You
movie.
know, Joe Dante is like, I'm making my own little
It's
mini
the
film.
worst thing I've ever seen. I want to see it so bad. But there's a teenager on a date with a girl,
Yeah.
and that's supposed to be Ben's brother.
Okay.
And there's supposed to be this crazy backstory because remember, Ben at one point Ben goes, "Oh, my brother's kind of a jerk."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's supposed to be this like whole backstory of him and his brother, and then how they like bond over, like they like finally like, "I love you, man," and like,
Yep.
None of that comes to fruition.
No.
It's just sort of like, eh.
And that's the thing. Like as we're going into what is about like scene 4, it's the time to talk about that because things really do start going off the rails.
They do,
and things start like threads stop being tied up. You know, we don't get anything, and like you said, the studio put a lot of pressure on to give them a final cut way earlier than it was actually supposed to be done.
that's fucking horseshit, man.
Sucks.
I hate that.
Yeah, and so
Especially to Joe Dante, like you could definitely see, like I've been really fired up talking about this movie because I've liked it so far, and knowing that it's just like such a heartbreaker because it could be
It might be Goonies.
it could be Goonies, it could be Stand By
seriously.
Me, it could be all of those movies. You
If
know,
they
it could
had
be
given it a shot.
exactly.
It could have been even deeper than some of those movies.
Honestly.
Like,
absolutely,
yeah.
like
meaning of life type shit. You know,
Correct.
like, yeah.
and so takes us into scene 4.
Well, I got one more
got
thing.
one more thing?
When they did you guys see when the helicopter Dick Miller and Diller and his co-pilot land? The co-pilot gets out and Dick Miller's like, I'm gonna go look a little bit more.
Yeah.
And
Because I have an important role in the rest of this movie.
exactly.
No, I'm
Just so you know.
something important. I think
That's why the camera is on me right now. So no,
I hope so.
the co-pilot goes to the paper thing to read about what happened last night. Did you guys see a little tiny article entitled "Kingston Falls Riot Still Unexplained"?
It's so sick.
It's tying in with Gremlins.
Gremlins.
What
It's
a
the same
fucking
Joe Dante movie.
Yep.
And yes, it is a nice little tie-in.
Easter eggs
in
are
the
my favorite.
He is one of the best at them, to be honest. Yeah.
same universe
Yeah.
that we're seeing.
There's also something that we might need to explain. We do have younger viewers and listeners like Joey from
Like
last
Joey.
week's
Right.
episode.
Yep.
We have to explain something that back in the 80s, we used to write our names on our clothes. You know, like on the collar of your jacket and like even your underwear, so that if anyone found it, they would know where to return it.
Yeah.
Right.
And we don't do that nowadays. We just buy new stuff. But I
Correct.
just want to let you know that, of course, you know, if someone found a jacket of yours, they would know whose it
would
is
have
and
your
where
name
you
in it.
live, your
Yeah.
address,
You write
your
your address,
email,
phone number,
your AOL
Yep.
name, you know, their Twitter handle. They
gamer
would know
tag.
Yeah.
They would know all that stuff.
It's like, oh, Ben, I got it all.
I know where
got
Ben
it.
is.
Yeah.
I can go find him.
Back then, you didn't even need Google. You just read someone's name or like introduced yourself, and like even just the slightest touch, you could see their entire future.
We're
Yeah,
going
it's-
backwards.
Yeah.
We have, no
Yeah.
big deal.
Sucks, man. So
Take us on, AJ.
Anyway,
okay, so the boys finalize their plans to explore the galaxy in search of alien life with their recent ship improvements. Shortly after breaking Earth's orbit, something overrides the boys' personal computer controls. The Thunder Road is tractor beamed to a much larger ship. They go through many obstacles to figure out what is happening on this ship. So they get up, they break orbit again, but they had this whole debate like, what? We're not going again. We can't do this. It's like, no, of course you're going again. There wouldn't be a movie if you didn't go again, right? So they do end up going up. After what improvements, like the oxygen thing?
Yeah, and like they
christen it finally. Well, they did christen it
no,
before.
I think they gave it like more battery power too.
Yeah.
Didn't
Oh,
they?
that's right. Okay, yeah. And so they break Earth's orbit, but they had this happen to them before. So I think early in the first one, they kind of figured out something overtook the ship.
Yeah, and it would do it at times. It would sort of overtake the ship.
Right. And so
in the first cut, you mean?
in the first time they
first
took
flight.
it up.
Yep.
Okay,
The
so
first flight of the Thunder Road.
Something was taking over the controls.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So they were like, let's let it take over. Let's
yeah.
go into orbit and then see what happens.
Right. They said, let it take us.
Yeah.
Well, let's get some munchies. And
Like literally kiss all of their moms goodbye, pretty much. you
Yeah.
know? Like
Didn't he write a will?
Yeah, he
Ben
did.
wrote a will.
Last will and testament.
I give all my baseball cards to my brother.
yeah. Tell Jimmy to stay out of my room.
Yeah.
Like, what is your will? I don't understand. Don't give my jacket to that creepy guy.
Yeah, tell Eyeball to fuck off.
If Dick Miller comes by,
Yeah.
tell him I don't know.
Tell him.
I don't know why he knows so much about me.
Tell him I don't know.
That was when, and when they are in space and they finally get taken over, that was another little Easter egg when he goes, "They're here,
Yeah.
Poltergeist."
Yes.
Woo! Oh, that's creepy.
I hate it.
I don't like it either.
I'm not a big fan of Poltergeist.
Do you know anything about Jinn?
Yeah, the mythical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was listening to Astonishing Legends about that, and it scared me last night. It was 3 a.m. driving home from a gig, and something ran in front of my car that I didn't know what it was, and I was like, I don't like this.
Definitely a gin.
It had to be.
Not a fan.
Move on, AJ.
So
That was
they
a great non sequitur. I love it.
I'm just taking over because I'm Ben, and I want
love
to take
it.
this
Yeah.
over. Like,
Let's talk
Wolfgang-
about gin now.
Wolfgang can't lead this podcast.
So it seems like a really weird thing, or a very long scene of them just getting taken over, and it's just like them constantly debating this whole time of
Yeah.
like, it's a good thing, it's a bad thing, it's
And
a
Ben's
good thing.
eating food.
And he's like, no, this is the best thing ever. It's
Just
like,
chill out.
he's like, just relax. Everything's gonna be fine. Nom, nom, nom. This is the greatest thing that's ever. We're going where no man's ever. It's like, would you just stop saying taglines and just
Yeah.
will you please put yourself in the moment here? We could die
Yeah.
at any time. We could die at any time. But he's
There's
totally
no way the
fine with it.
spaceship is airtight. Okay.
Yeah, it's like come on, man. And then they're getting tractor beamed into another ship. There's no way that any of these three kids are this calm.
Yeah.
not
This is a
chance.
pants shitting situation.
Yeah.
Okay, and they're all way too calm. for
In
my
the
liking.
80s, guys, in the 80s, you never even left your like 2-block radius of your neighborhood,
No,
let alone went to outer space. I mean, Jesus Christ.
it wasn't until the 90s that we got to ride our bikes into town. Okay, come
Yeah.
on. You're gonna tell me that you're completely fine with breaking the Earth's atmosphere and then getting tractor beamed into what appears to be a scary mouth that's
Just
eating you?
saying.
Fuck that. I'm not here for it.
And when they finally get on that ship, there's some like, I was like watching this going, oh man, they ripped off Flight of the Navigator. And then I was like, Flight of the Navigator ripped off Explorers.
Correct.
That arm that comes out that's like an eyeball and that's like
Yes.
talking to him,
Yep.
that is a straight rip off from Flight of the Navigator.
This is the thing, man. Like all this stuff is way too creepy, and maybe
It takes a turn.
I'm serious. Like this is where it just goes off the rails.
This is where it
really gets bad,
derails
and
from-
you're just like, okay, they really should have given them some more time to actually make this cut. You know, as they're going through, they're getting separated. This is a horror movie.
Yeah.
This just turned into a horror movie.
A
guys.
giant metal spider thing comes out.
Yeah.
And the sound it makes on like the metal floor is creepy as fuck.
We've got Beetlejuice creatures.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for Predator to show up and just like.
Well, later on,
Spike a kid.
Goro shows up.
Goro.
And his dad.
Yeah.
The dad is basically Goro.
He's basically
Just going,
Goro.
"Oh,
But we don't know that yet.
Oh, sorry. my
You
bad.
see that?
Yeah.
Oh, spoilers. No, so if we're, what do you think? So are they just going through a maze? Did they put them into like the garage of the ship? Like they're trying to find answers to the universe, and they're like, it looks like they're going through like levels of Double Dare.
I thought yeah.
You know what I mean?
I thought I was hallucinating this whole entire last scene, to be honest.
You're absolutely right. When you're watching it for the first time, you're like, oh, okay, cool. They're going through some mazes and they're being tested, but it's like, but then once you know what happens, it's like, why didn't they just be like, hi,
Yeah.
Yeah.
welcome aboard?
So did you? There is a point where they talk about this, as it gets to be a little bit later, actually, and we could probably go into the next part.
Yeah, go into it.
And
Sure.
then we'll just take it away from there. So last part of this, the boys meet Whack and Neek, two green-skinned aliens whose knowledge of Earth comes almost entirely from junk culture. The young explorers develop a relationship with their extraterrestrial hosts, but it turns out Whack and Neek are brother and sister. They have taken their father's ship out for a joyride, sending the dreams to the boys in the hopes of meeting humans. Thunder
yeah,
Road.
Jeremy, that's what happened.
Jeremy's
Can you
Whack
believe it?
and Neek.
Thunder Road and its crew depart, but a malfunction results in them crashing the Thunder Road into their neighborhood lake. A week later, Ben is joined in the dreams by Wolfgang, Darren, and Lori.
Yeah, so you're absolutely right. Like you're
So-
like what is? Oh wow, they were being tested by these aliens. It's like, but no, they weren't. These aliens were just like, I just want to meet you. You're humans. This is cool.
Yeah.
We want to meet you. So there's a part where after they find Wolfgang again, who's just macking on this Neek.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you have a girlfriend? Oh.
Well, I'm not tied down. You know.
What is
like-
going on?
Yeah. She's about to use those suction cup finger things. So, but what they end up explaining again, this comes back to like dialogue that should be more impactful. It's dialogue that should be more impactful. And at a point, they talk about how they needed to make sure that they were not like germy, that they weren't
Yeah.
bringing germs or sick
okay.
or anything
That's why
like
they
that.
haven't visited because
Correct,
there's
because
too many germs on
one
Earth.
little thing could get them sick. You know,
Europe invading North America.
Exactly.
Native Americans.
blankets.
Yeah.
And so they didn't want that to happen. So they had to make sure with that big robot thing that they were clean,
Right.
essentially. So that's what we find
Okay,
out
okay.
as to why they didn't just come out right away. Again, though, I don't understand the whole golden child jumping from pillars and
I think it's just just show off. It feels like it was just a show off of special effects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is cool. Look at this.
It seemed just like this is our Goonies time now.
You're right.
You know,
Yeah.
like this is like there's some
they're
quote unquote booby traps
deep
for
in the
them.
cave.
Yeah.
That kind
And then
of
they
thing.
all just kind of regain back together.
Yeah.
You know, it's I don't know.
No, I know. And that's essentially what they try to do, but unfortunately, they all meet back up, and
Unfortunately, they meet Whack.
they meet Whack.
and it just from here on out, it's 30 minutes too long. It's just like Whack just is not. He just keeps doing like TV routines.
Yeah.
And then Goro, the dad, shows up, and they're like, "Oh, you better leave." And it's still just him going, "Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh," for like it just keeps going.
With Whack, the costume is cool.
Oh, yeah.
Costume is really really cool. Like it
They
it
creeped
seems,
me out
it-
when
yeah,
I was a kid.
terrifying.
They were super creepy.
It's creepy as fuck and weird looking, but it's like it does look good on camera, you know.
Yeah,
But like his whole thing of like we just love Earth TV shows and we imitate this the whole time. It's like 5 minutes of that would have been
Yes.
like, oh, okay, I got
Yeah.
it, and that's funny. But you can see on even the kids' faces that they're like, what the fuck are we doing?
yeah,
Like they look like this is still going on.
Yeah.
Like even their characters, and you can see through their characters into
The
them just as
actors.
people. And like, what are we
Been
doing?
3
here?
days on set of this.
Yeah.
it gets so messy because you for the longest time I thought he just spoke in like repetition or repeating like what he's heard before. Like that was the only way he could communicate. But there are times where he's actually talking to them.
Right.
And so I got really confused on a
Same.
couple of points.
Because I didn't get every single reference, you
Yeah.
know, as I'm sure all of us didn't.
yeah.
And so when he was actually talking to them, I'm like, I don't know if this is real or not.
Yeah.
Or if, I mean, he's talking through quotes from
Yeah.
TV and everything like that. But you're right. I'm like, I don't know which one is which.
And to the point, Mike, it's like, yeah, this is like 30 minutes too long. The problem is it's not 30 minutes too long. It's that it's time misspent.
It is.
Like, it's all just time misspent. Like, we should be learning about the aliens. We should be learning about maybe their culture. Maybe since they can travel so quickly, they could have taken them somewhere else to learn more. And the idea is like, oh, the secrets of the universe. Aren't you here to tell us like what the meaning of life is
Yeah.
and what the secrets of the
Ben
universe
is
hold?
like,
And like, I
is
really
this
want to
it?
know. And it's just like, and then you kind of find out that maybe this is the message that I've taken away at this point is stop wondering about what the rest of the universe is like, because if there's other people or beings out there, maybe they're wondering what it's like here just as much as we wonder what it is there.
Right.
And it's not worth your time. Just do what you're going to do. But
Huh.
that's such a deep
It's like,
way to get there.
Yeah.
And it's also just kind of a letdown.
Yeah.
it is.
so-
It's a letdown for Ben, the character, too.
Yeah.
It's just like, this is it. We're just going to watch this guy be Jimmy Savile
Yeah,
the whole time.
exactly.
And then it takes another turn. It's just like, well, they stole their dad's car, and that's why they're out here.
Yeah. It's kind of like
What?
it's if you think about it, it's kind of a like juxtaposed position on what they're doing. Obviously, they didn't steal a space car, but they built their own, and their kids, and they just happen
Kids
to be now
kids.
communicating with other kids
I get that.
in the universe, and
parents never understand.
yeah. Well, we just borrowed his car. We just wanted to go. Yeah. But yeah, so it's kind of a sad thing, and not to like push this into a bad spot, but it kind of seems like it fizzles out a bit.
It does.
Well, and they could have somehow saved it too, because they could have got back to. I love that the explorer drowns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh shit. And they could have now somehow brought this back around of like, here comes Dick Miller back.
Yeah.
Right.
And like,
So you did it, huh, kid?
and like,
What'd you find?
So hey, hang in there, kid, because I'm you from the future.
Yeah.
Like what? I don't even care. I don't even like a Flight of the Navigator. Or sorry, like how darkly scary dark Flight of the Navigator gets.
Yeah.
When he does come back and like, like we time traveled. And
Time travel.
That stuff could have happened here, and it didn't. And they're just like,
Yeah.
oh, I got an amulet, and now we're in the dream together.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what the ending even happened. I have no clue what it was.
The ending, they're in a dream together?
The ending
They're all in a
seems,
dream
So
together.
was this all a dream?
it seems so tacked on just to like we need a Spielbergian exit to this
Yeah.
movie, and it's
Was-
like everything's whimsical, and he kisses the girl, and like he always has that in Spielberg movies where the kids kiss kids. you
Yeah.
know, it's
Fuck,
like-
I would have even settled for Ben. Ben falls asleep at the beginning of the movie, and I would have settled for him waking up
Yeah.
it was all a dream.
and being like,
The biggest.
Let's
the-
not-
I would have even. I hate that, but I would have been
Yeah.
like, cool.
Let's not have this movie happen.
Yeah. Well, and again, bringing back Dick Miller, we never saw him again,
No,
did we?
He's
He
on
does a
this
send-off.
mission.
Yeah.
He's on this mission, and then he goes, "Oh wow, that's totally normal. There's a spaceship taking off."
He says
He's like,
he
"You go,
says,
kid," and
he's
that's
like,
about it.
He's like, you got it, kid. And
Yeah.
he's not trying to
He doesn't
track
even
him
know
down. He's excited. It's like, turns out Dick Miller his character actually wanted to know more about what he's doing because he went through some sort of experience as a kid.
Yeah.
In a similar way.
And that's
just giving some
interesting.
exposition.
And that's interesting, but we don't.
But why don't you tell us more about
Yeah.
that? Why didn't he show up again at the very end and he says, so you did it, huh, kid? He says,
And then
what'd
he
you
rips
find
off
out
his
there?
skin, and he's an alien.
And he's the alien.
Like whatever.
But what if he said something like, you did it? Wow. He's like, did you get up there? Did you figure out like what's the meaning of the universe?
When I was a kid too.
Did they tell you what's going on? Or I never got to do it as a kid because
Right.
I couldn't figure it out.
That's what it should have been.
And it's like, did they tell you what was going on? What'd you find? And he says, it's just a bunch of kids. And
Still disappointing.
He's like-
and he's like, gosh, that's it. He's just like alien kids and joyriding, and there's no meaning. It's just bullshit.
And then he arrests Ben.
And he's like, well,
I'm taking you in.
well, you violated controlled airspace, so you're all felons now. So that's about it. There,
You're behind
man.
the Gremlins thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Shit,
Yeah, I don't know. I think we were all pretty much on the same page with the ending of that, huh?
It's unfortunate, man.
Yep.
It really is. So, but that's about it. Unless you guys got anything
That's
else.
it for me, man.
I think it's time for our modern day ratings on this. AJ, since you have seen this as a kid, where are you going breaking this down with a modern day rating? Where are you heading on this?
So the disappointment just seems to hit a little bit harder as like at the end of the movie because like there's what you're looking for in a payoff for this movie is so short-lived in a way and also long-lived because they just misused the time of being in space and interacting with these aliens.
Yeah.
And it's like they burnt all their special effects and all this like digital stuff they did. I don't know. But I love 2/3 of this movie so
Yeah.
much. Like so much of this is just so interesting to watch. It's so fun to watch, and then it's an unfortunate ending. So I think I'm going to go back and I'm going to give this just a 4.9.
4.9 or Sean, first time you've ever seen this. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I agree with AJ wholeheartedly. Like the whole setup was great. I was totally in. I like the characters. There's some back and forth that I'm just like, I'm not really connecting to some of the characters as much as like the other movies like Sandlot or
Monster Squad.
Goonies, Monster Squad, everything like that. But I buy it. I'm into it. I like the junkyard parts. You know, I like the dynamic of the three characters and everything. And then it goes what we just said. Yeah, I'm not gonna repeat ourselves or anything. It was just kind of disappointing for me. I'm gonna go 3.9.
3.9er for Sean. I don't need to repeat anything you guys said. I can see how I totally would have loved this as a kid. I cannot look past that. Like, there are 2/3 of this movie I would have been like, oh. And who cares? Even as a kid, sometimes you never even finish movies. Sometimes it was the beginning. Sometimes it's the beginning and the middle of the movie. So I probably would have given this a giant nostalgia rating had I ever rented it. But it seemed like it was going to be so much deeper and even spiritual. They could have really gone. And it's unfortunate because I think they wanted to.
You could see it.
I think there was a plan to do this, and it's very unfortunate that they couldn't do it. So I wanted to figure out what Dick Miller even had to do with the plot. So I'm a 4.4. Executive producer Josh Miller says, looking at this with a modern eye, being nearly 40 years old, this is a perfectly serviceable movie for the time. As an adult, this movie had a handful of slow spots. It's not a bad movie, but I certainly liked it more as a kid, which makes sense. I enjoyed the first half of the movie more versus the second half. It took a really weird and uncomfortable turn in the alien spaceship to me. That continued to get more bizarre as it went. What was with the alien spaceship? Did it look like a penis to anyone else? For an ILM movie, some of the special effects look good even when mixed with practical effects. The orb by itself looked pretty cool, and I liked the detail of looking through the orb and how it twisted light. That was really cool. Some of the CGI effects haven't aged well. Some of the practical effects look like there was little thought put into them. Then there were the aliens. Was that on purpose? I feel that it was, but were they intentionally bad or accidentally bad? Could I just be overthinking this one since it's almost like a first-time viewing? Your guys' job is hard. Having to score this, I don't love it. Certainly don't hate it. I don't see myself ever watching it again. Unlike basketball and the fact that I would live on a deserted island forever with just that, give me this movie and I'll certainly do whatever I can to construct a raft and rely on that 0.5% chance of drifting into an occasionally used shipping lane. Then I live my life on an island with only this to watch. Yeah, that does sound hateful. I'll take it back. I give this a 5.4.
Wow.
It didn't have a Corey, but it did have a Phoenix. This helps along with the Hawk. So that's the same thing. What's your opinion on Ethan Hawke? I feel like he's never great, never bad, always average to well above average, like Kurt Russell. Super underappreciated.
I love Ethan Hawke.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Ethan Hawke, although I do think he is a little bit of a discounted Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
So.
Whoa.
Did I just blow your mind a little bit?
I don't like that at all.
Well, thanks, Josh. So our collective modern-day rating is a 4.65.
Man.
4.65.
That's pretty low, my friends. That is the fifth from the bottom. That is just below Cutting Edge, which was another I've never seen, and just above GoldenEye. I brought GoldenEye down pretty
you did.
High. That was my fault. But GoldenEye is a 4.41. This is a 4.65.
That's the first kind of lower rating collectively that I feel bad for the movie.
I do too.
Right? I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't feel bad about some of those because we're just like, fuck that movie. That's so stupid. But
the amount of potential in a movie like this with the budget that it had, the casting that it had, and those kid actors, and the build up that it took for even beyond the first three quarters of this movie.
Yeah.
What a letdown.
Yeah.
Very sad.
And for the record, I was a 2.95 on GoldenEye.
Jesus Christ.
I still will stand by that. I would rather watch this movie than GoldenEye. So I'm just going to go ahead and say
Would
that.
you really?
Yeah.
Well,
Wow.
I'm sticking by it.
Mike hates my movies.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode, everybody. Thanks for being here. Tune in next Wednesday for another great episode. We'll be reviewing Happy Gilmore, followed by, very excited for this one, Wayne's World.
Nice.
We're gonna have a good. That was a Patreon selected movie.
You guys came
Buddy
through.
movie.
You guys came through on that one. And after a long stint in the 80s, we are finally back to the 90s. We've been on the 80s train for a bit. Now we can hit those 90s movies. New to the podcast, good one to go back in time to last year. Check out our review of Dazed and Confused.
Oh boy.
Wow. I actually re-listened to that. I was looking for some information we shared in there, and my God, I think that's my highest rated movie, actually.
I think it is.
I think And because we had just done Goonies, which I had self-proclaimed as one of my favorite movies, and
Yeah.
I popped up Dazed and Confused. I love that movie, and I think we did an unbelievable job on that episode.
It's
I
a
love that
really fun one.
episode.
That is my favorite movie of all time. So if you're new,
All right,
and
thanks for
wondering
listening, guys.
about what I
Please stay
think
in
about
touch
that,
with us by
check it
following
out.
on all of our social
And we
media
also got to
platforms.
thank our
At
Patreon members, our
Confused Breakfast on
top tier
Instagram,
Patreon
Facebook,
members.
and TikTok,
We love you
and
guys, and we're so
Confused
thankful
Be
for
Fast
your
on Twitter.
support.
Make sure to
We got
subscribe
Robin
to our
Fawcett,
podcast and
Dane,
leave a review
Joel,
on the
Nick
podcast
Marula,
platform
Mark
of your
Pryor,
choice
Kirlana,
right now.
Jordan,
Also, we have
Alicia,
merch.
Nick
You know you want to
Folkers,
rep the
Camden
Confused Breakfast
Griffith,
in public.
Francisco
Mugs,
Rivera,
stickers, shirts,
Cameron
all
J,
kinds
Bud
of goodies.
Larson, Big
Go to
Big
confusedbreakfast.com
Katie
for a
Beeks,
direct
Travis
link.
Hunziker,
Don't
Brian
forget about our
Hernandez,
voicemail
Greg
number,
Jackson,
319-804-9596.
Cale James, Jason Davis, Sean
Links
Dixon,
to
Emilio
everything
Perez,
you could ever
Jordan
need
Newton,
from us are in
Brenda
the show
Meisner,
notes
Willie
or
Cox
at
III,
confusedbreakfast.com.
Janelle
This
Lewis,
includes a
Joe
way to
Thomas,
follow
Chris
all of us
Diaro,
individually
Marshall
in our
G,
personal
Mitch
projects that we
Kavanaugh,
want you to
Ryan
check
Carlton,
out.
Josh
Mission of
Miller,
the day,
Connor,
tell your friends
Macy,
about us. We'll
Jason
see you next
Botsford,
time.
Stephen
Goodbye.
Moore, Chris Pryor, Paul Diaro, Jason Hahn, Travis Scanlon, Eric Hine, Michael Hody, got it right this time, Gary McCarthy, Corey Vaughn, Damian Zemek, Zachary Huron, Dallas B., Revis, David Wagoneer, Jenny Wilson, Tim Nash, Mike Zacher, Dwayne Van, Robert Venz, Joey Piamonte, Cole DeRocher, David Waters, Alan Cross, Negaduck, Zerophonic, Amy N., Ryan O., Samuel Miller, David Gould, John Devlin, Zachary Jones, Seth Murray, Tina Hansen, Roland and Julie, Lilo Dallas Multipass, Joshua Goodman, Lance Davis, Jesse Anderson, Mike Being Mike, Dale Prestupa, Lana Croft, Derek For Real, Mike Wheeler, Andrew Sawtell, Mike Oxhard, Garrett Layoff, God, I keep forgetting to look that one up, Aaron Baker, Ryan Grabsky, Michael Nash, Ranger Rick and Subalu, Adam Bathen, Ryan Weaver, Quentin Moore, Aaron Vandergriff, Joseph Morris, Zach Evans, Willard Brown, Justin Woolley, Todd Fat Joe, Piawa, Jaron Bushman, Anthony Rochette, Melinda Miller, Joseph Bituis, Gary Son of Gary, Sean Hatley, Rachel Heinz, Bailey, Jason McCartan, Murky, Tyler Dark, Rock Tyler, John Miller, Caleb Campson, No Blue Check, Dean Roan, Lauren, Austin Hartman, Jason Ruby Rod Rogers, Chris M., Cody Kirker, Ian Anderson, Chris Clemon, Louis Laniuski, Alexander Hemingway, Kennedy Harris, Starling, Anthony Stout, Jessica Lavinka, Tiffany, Tanner Gray, Soren Schroeder, Beth Sanderson, Jason Gould, Quincy Mullen, John Underheil, Tyler Bird, David Amodai, Kobe Cochran, Matthew Rosendahl, Jason, Chris Wookie, John Martinez, Jackson M., Jamie Young, and Fold Z. Actually, let me time out. Let me look up Fold Z. I feel like that name's wrong. Just give me, you know what? You've listened this long. Let me just make sure.
Don't forget about Pete Mitchell, Helen Keller, Danny Glover,
Shut up.
Michael Morrison,
Actually,
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Fold Z has changed his name to Spaceballs, the username.
Okay, so let's say it all together. And
Hold on. Spaceballs, the username. And Spaceballs, the username. Thank you so much, everybody. We will catch you next time.
Thanks so much, guys. Love you.
Thank you. All right, thanks for listening, guys. Please stay in touch with us by following on all of our social media platforms at Confused Breakfast on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, and Confused Be Fast on Twitter. Make sure to subscribe to our podcast and leave a review on the podcast platform of your choice right now.
Also, we have merch. You know you want to rep the Confused Breakfast in public. Mugs, stickers, shirts, all kinds of goodies. Go to confusedbreakfast.com for a direct link.
And don't forget about our voicemail number, 319-804-9596. Links to everything you could ever need from us are in the show notes or at confusedbreakfast.com. This includes a way to follow all of us individually in our personal projects that we want you to check out. Mission of the day, tell your friends about us. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.